Here we go. Hello. Welcome to my Ask Me Anything. Apologies about the camera. As a matter of fact, I thought I lost it. Turns out I just put it on my other screen. At any rate, once a month, I gather people together to do a live session and answer any questions that people might have. So thanks to those of you who have joined. I'm now going to patch in my Instagram group and then we'll get started. And here we go. Okay, waiting just for a minute for the Instagram group to join. Welcome, everybody. This is my monthly Ask Me Anything, and I see people starting to join, so I will give them just a second. It's summertime, so I fully expected to have a smaller number today because I understand people are out and about now that we're sitting here officially towards the end of July. Oh, I see people joining. Welcome to my monthly Ask Me Anything. Okay, for those of you that joined before, once a month I set aside time to answer questions that people might have about career, work-life integration, whatever it might be, so that I can be of help. Now, it is July and I have allergies, so apologies. But at any rate, thanks very much for joining. I'm going to jump right into the questions. First, I'm currently working in public relations for a large company, but one day I want to own a PR firm. I'm not quite 30, but I want to put together plans to make that a reality. So first of all, great. Let me find my water. Anyway, first of all, great. I love it when people start planning life and their careers early. So if you're currently working in PR, and it looks like for a large company, and one day you want to own a firm and you want to know how to prepare yourself, first step advice is ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, what's your goal? Good news is you have it. One day you want to own a PR firm. 2, ask yourself what has to be true for you to own your own firm. Pardon me. Allergies. What has to be true? Typically, you don't know what has to be true. And when you don't know what has to be true, then you have to go and do the research, or homework as I like to call it. So find out who owns PR firms today. What were their career paths? And the good news is with LinkedIn, it's pretty easy. And if you can, try to network your way to talk to people who are currently doing that. So once you understand what has to be true, what kind of experiences they had, what kinds of jobs, roles, all those things, then ask yourself the 3rd question, which is how do I make it true for me? And in doing that, you basically create your plan. So for instance, most times when you start a business, I don't care whether it's PR, software, or in healthcare, if you're going to start a business, you've got to figure out what problem are you going to solve that you can solve better or more efficiently or cheaper than anybody else. So PR is no different. You want to have a target. So if you own a PR firm, just like any company, you want to solve all problems. Pick one in which you'll be known for. And then figure out what skills you need to build to be able to do it. Pardon me. So let's say that your focus today is in PR on product launches. Well, you could decide that product launch PR is what you're going to be known for, which means you want to build skills that show depth. You want to build a portfolio of examples of where you've actually done it and done it well. And it doesn't matter if you're working for a large company, small company, etc. It's all about the projects that you've done. So from that standpoint, it's really straightforward to build a plan. So my advice to you, if you want to own your own PR firm, and today you're working in PR, is figure out what you want your specialty to be, build those skills, get those experiences, and then network. Join organizations that are in this field that'll put you in touch with potential clients and or potential resources that you'll be able to leverage as you build your organization. But good news is it's never too early to plan. Thanks for joining, folks. Next one. I've been working for this company for a few years, and I got a raise in my first year, but I didn't get a raise the last time. How do I ask for a raise? So, really good question. Asking for a raise is something that everyone should build both confidence and comfort around doing. Because what I've found is, yes, sometimes you will get raises, but if you aren't actually having a conversation about it, you may not get as much as you could get if you were actually intentional about it. So first of all, when you're asking for a raise, don't wait until you're already in the pay cycle. And you all know when you're in the pay cycle, annual reviews, annual raises, all those things happen. You want to lay the seeds for a raise before then. And the reason you want to do that is managers have input into their pool of dollars. They have the ability to start, frankly, lobbying for people, all those things before everything becomes official. You want to make sure that your desires are known so that you can feed into that process. Two, when you have the conversation, always, always make sure, first and foremost, you're doing a good job. Sorry. Ooh. So when you start the conversation, start it with, hey, I just want to do a quick check-in and make sure that I'm basically performing the way you expect me to perform, right? Whatever words you want to use around it to your boss. And when your boss says yes, right, then you say great, because I really want to have a conversation about what you need from me to justify a raise, right? Now, by saying it that way, what you've done is you've made this now a partnership between you and your boss. You've asked for a raise by letting him or her know that you want to work with them to figure out what you need to do, right, to be able to earn it. You don't want to walk in and say, I need a raise, so, right, give me a raise. You can, but I found it's not as effective. It's much better if you walk in and try to actually work with your boss on what do you need to see, right, to be able to justify this. Because based upon what I've done, how much time I've spent in this job, right, et cetera, I think I deserve one, and I'm expecting one. So let's talk about how we might make this happen together. But what you want to do is have that conversation before the cycle so you have time to actually work toward it. Now, your boss on notice that you are expecting a raise, you really do want one, and you've now opened this dialogue of conversation. So when they're figuring out how they're going to dole out their increased budget, etc., you're going to be first and foremost on their mind. So when asking for a raise, do it in advance, set the stage, make sure you qualify your overall performance, because if they say that they're not happy or there are concerns, you want to get those addressed first before you ask for the raise. Hopefully that helps. I joined a company that I thought was going to be terrific, but unfortunately it turned into a pretty toxic environment. There's been a lot of infighting, distrust, there's poor communications, and I'm just not feeling comfortable. Should I leave? It's only been a short period of time, or should I stick it out? So unfortunately, this is something people definitely face. And what I would tell you is, if it's truly toxic, meaning it's an environment in which every day your personal stress levels, health, et cetera, are negatively impacted, then you might not be able to stick it out and you may have to leave. And you'll just have to explain it when you're going through your overall job search. If it's not good, but it's not quite toxic, then my advice is stick it out while you're looking for another job, because it tends to be easier to find a job when you have one. But if it's really a bad environment and you're concerned for your own either health or even personal safety, depending on what's happening, then no, go ahead and leave. You can explain that when you're actually interviewing for the next role, because unfortunately those environments do exist. Don't stay in an environment you feel either unsafe or it's negatively affecting your health in a meaningful way. I have an opportunity that's come forward, but it's a lateral, it's not a promotion. And I'm trying to decide, should I actually take the opportunity or not take the opportunity? Well, I don't really have enough information to give you very specific advice, but let me give you some questions to think about. One, many times there will be opportunities that come along that may not be a promotion, but that will actually expand your overall skill set and experience. In my own career, I took lateral jobs. I still achieved what I wanted to achieve in becoming a technology CEO, but every job was not a step function up. I can name at least two that were actually lateral roles. So it's okay to take a lateral role as long as you understand what you are achieving in doing this. Sometimes bosses will come to you and suggest a role because they're actually grooming you for another position, but you need depth or you need experience or you need something that you don't have currently. Now, they won't always tell you that's why they're doing it because they don't want to set false expectations. So when you are offered a job that's not a promotion, just qualify it. Ask your boss, whoever's offering you the job, to say, listen, I understand this isn't a promotion, but I'd like to understand either what new experience this will bring, what new skill sets this will bring, et cetera, if it's not obvious. It may be obvious. If you've gone from, I'm going to make it up, if you've gone from managing, I don't know, a finance organization and they've actually now to actually took over a part of business development, well, those are two very different roles. So they're obviously expanding your skill set, right? So don't ask the obvious question. But if it's not obvious, it's absolutely fair to ask. It's also fair to ask that if I take this role and I do well, what opportunities or how does this position me for the future? Which is another question you can ask. So all of that will help you understand the why. How do I promote innovation on in my team? I'm an organization of smart people. People work hard, but we're not as innovative as we should be. This is a really good question. It's something that I think a lot of folks are struggling with right now in terms of innovation and driving innovation. And that's for a couple of reasons. One, studies actually show that when people are working in proximity with each other, innovation flourishes. So now that we're scattered, it's a little harder and we have to be more intentional. Two, when people are in environments in which they feel not totally secure, which is kind of the environment we're in, everybody's kind of waiting. Are are we doing layoffs? Have we already done layoffs? All that stuff. Well, when people get a little insecure, they get more cautious. And when they get more cautious, they tend to be less innovative. Because innovation, by definition, means you're actually taking risks. Because when you're putting out new ideas or new approaches or anything new, it gives people a chance to judge you, evaluate you, right? Tell you no. So if you're trying to create an innovative environment now, you have to be intentional and explicit. And by that means you have to tell people, listen, we need to become more innovative in order to achieve our overall objectives. Now, I realize that what innovation means is that you're willing to make mistakes. You're willing to come up with dumb ideas, right? You're willing to do all of that. So share it. As the leader, let them know, listen, in order for us to be innovative, we're going to make some mistakes, right? The key is we figure it out quickly and we course correct and we pivot. And that's all right, because that's part of being innovative. I'd much rather that we be innovative and make mistakes than we be cautious and not be able to capitalize on all the opportunities in front of us. But you have to actually share it. And then once you've shared that's how you feel, as a leader, you have to make sure that you're actually walking the talk. And by walking the talk, I mean, you can't actually, now that you said it's okay to take risks, okay to make mistakes, and then actually punish people for it. So you have to walk the talk. And you can do things creatively to actually promote and support this. You can give out, the craziest idea of the quarter award, right? Doesn't mean you implemented it, but what that will do is encourage people to think out of the box and come up with great ideas because they know the craziest one, right? You're going to highlight. So come up with ways in which you are actually reinforcing the behavior that you want. Because just telling people I want you to be innovative is not going to do it. Most people, by definition, tend to be cautious, especially when they're in environments that are uncertain, which is the environment that we're in right now. All right, next question. And by the way, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat on the YouTube, or same thing on Insta. Just put them in your comments and I'll be happy to address them. Meanwhile, thanks to those that are telling me hello and glad they're joined. I'm so glad you popped in to join me this afternoon. Okay. Next question, which actually is the last one. So it's summertime. What advice do you have for a young professional who wants to serve on a board one day? So, first of all, serving on a board is very much a continuation of career, is almost how I see it. So if you're interested in one day serving on a board, then you want to make sure you're building skill sets and experiences that boards value. And I'll tell you, the number one skill experience that boards value is actually running a P&L at scale. So having responsibility for a profit and loss statement, actually running a business, is always valued. If you look at most boards, the majority of people on the board actually have that skill set and experience. The next is financial expertise, CFO, accounting partner, right, et cetera. Those are skill sets that companies are actually legally required to have on their board. And then you have skills, depending upon the company, that are related to industry depth or technology experience, right, international, all kinds of different things that companies need. But the key is you want to make sure you're building skills at a high level, because at the end of the day, the CEO and the other people on the board want people around the table that they can learn from, that are bringing perspectives that are broader, deeper, or different from what they have. So realize that serving on a board is a job, and it's competitive, just like interviewing for any other job. So if one day you want to serve on a board, spend time doing some research, which is pretty easy these days, to figure out what are the skill sets that boards are really looking for. And then make sure that as you're building your career, you're taking advantage of opportunities and you're taking roles that help you build those skills. All right. Those were the questions that actually came through today. Let me give you one more chance. Anything online? I'm checking my YouTube. Nope. Anything on Insta? And no, I don't see anything here on Insta either. So I tell you what, everyone, I can tell that it's July. Hopefully that means that some of you too are taking some vacation and getting some R&R. So we will have just a short session today, but I thank you very much for joining. Thank you for putting up with my allergy-related coughs. And I look forward to connecting with you next month in August. I do this every month. Follow me on Instagram or LinkedIn. I always announce them. You can also register on my YouTube channel, Shellye Archambeau, and you'll get notified of when the next session is. And as always, I'm happy to answer any question you put forward. By the way, if you happen to have joined and I got several questions that were more psychology related questions about dealing with family dynamics and things like that. That's not necessarily my expertise. So I didn't answer those questions. But anything that's career related or related to getting what you want out of life from a community standpoint, professional standpoint, feel free to put forward. And I'm happy to give you my thoughts. All right, everyone, listen, have a great day. Bye.